Hello guys, I have made a a SOC workbooks and lookups room, and I recorded earlier, but unfortunately the recording disappeared for some reason over the years. So I'm just going. Oh, wait. The recording unfortunately went astray. It somehow disappeared. So I'm just going to re-record this and show you what I've done. So this task one, introduction. So we went through the triage complex, learning objectives, prerequisites, and I hit I am ready to start. Complete the you got to complete these two rooms to start. Assets and identities. Imagine having a night shift alert saying that G Baker logged into this server right here. User downloaded the 2024.xlsx file, so an Excel file from there, shared with Arlund, and then you have to find answers to many questions. Who's G Baker? What is the purpose of the location? Why could Arlund need access to the corporate financial records? Idle inventory. They talk about idle inventory. It gets you context about G Baker and Arlund to make it simpler to decide if the activity was expected or not. Here are the examples of identities. Gregory, so this is like all this stuff right here. And source of identities right here as well. Active Directory, SSO proprietors, HR systems, custom solution. Yeah. Asset inventory, also called lookup. Asset lookup is also a list of all computer resources within an organization's IT environment. This room emphasizes servers and workstations only. Asset inventory will help you get context about the O2 server. And this is the examples of assets. So FinFS O2 and a lot of other things. But yeah, you got asset, Active Directory, CM, EDR, MDM, custom solution. Then you got network diagrams right here. Network diagrams. Oh, the answers. So the questions and answers here. Looking at the identity inventory, what is the role of Arlund in the company? U.S. Financial Advisor was the right answer. So if you go to what's the role of Arlund right here, he's a financial advisor. Checking the inventory, what does the HUF FinFS02 server store? It stores the O2 server stores financial records. So that's how I got that. Does the file sharing from this scenario look legitimate and expected? Yes, I kind of guessed on this one. I thought it was a no, but after after looking at the Gregory and Raymond, I realized they're both in the finance axis, so they should definitely it should definitely look legitimate. So yeah, it is a yes. So we then after that I did network diagrams, and you see a lot of IP addresses and the times as well. I'm not gonna go through reading this. You can read this on your own if you have time. Network diagrams. Investigate the case above. Then identify the subnet of 10.10.053 IP belongs to, and why would ever try to connect to other subnets. And then here's the network diagram here. Threat actor behind VPN brute force, and then it was signed an IP from the VPN subnet. Then the adversary just tried to scan the database subnet, and then they switched it off as subnet. And then, according to the network diagram, which service is exposed to the TCP 10443 port. So that would be the VPN right here. So you see all these VPN right here. So that's how I got that. Which subnet would the server behind 172.16.15.99 IP belong to? That would belong to the database subnet, because this one, the IP address is very similar. So it may say 0 here, but if you see 172.16.15, it's most likely a database subnet. And then last but not least, does the scenario look like a true positive or false positive? Convincingly enough, it is true positive, because you have a bunch of exposed ports here, and they're trying to get to every subnet. And by reading this, you will understand it more, like, because you have all these exposed ports, and they're all going to the subnet, which could mess up the network really bad. Yeah. So that's that. Then we move on to the workbooks theory. So there's the SOC workbook. Here is the workbook example. I recommend saving this to your. I recommend saving this to your. I recommend saving this to your Word document, so that way you get an access of it and know what it is. Yeah, so basically, it's an example of an investigation to help L1 analysts triage alerts in a typical email. So if you get a job as a SOC analyst, keep that in the, keep this diagram at the back of your mind, or don't forget to go through this if you're having some trouble. Because a lot of the times when you get applied as a SOC analyst, they kind of expect you to do SOC analyst projects, and that will help with the experience, and they will, that experience factor is the hero of the of like your job. It's like the hero of your job. Like, you got the job based on the experience you did on other things. So, and then you have the steps in the correct order. So you have the enrichment step, the investigation step, and the escalation step. So the SOC rule. So SOC L1 analysts, once again, they would use this workbook right here. This is the diagram. This is the workbook right here. Unusual logins. And then the process of gathering user host or IP context using TI and lookups. That would be right here. Threat intelligence. And you would get information about the affected user. So that would be enrichment. And then looking at the workbook example, what platform is used as an identity inventory source? So that would be Bamboo HR. And the reason why it's Bamboo HR, because it says it on the enrichment stage. It says use Bamboo HR to find out expected user's location. So when you're finding a user's location, you're finding a source of where the identity is. If that makes sense. Yeah. So yeah. And then I moved on to the practice. And so I clicked on this view site, and this is where I left off. Yep, this is definitely where I left off. I wish I can expand this a little bit more, but yeah, this is where I left off. So right now, I'm investigating the email analyzer. It's SPF DKIM content and sender. Hold on, there's a sender domain reputation. So this is basically a workbook for internal email with script or binary attachment. So you have to take ownership of the alert, investigate the email using EML analyzer. It's SPF DKIM content and sender domain reputation. Continue to the attachment analysis. Use sandbox for binaries and manual code review for scripts. So we're halfway there. So yeah, we're halfway there, and if is so now we have to determine whether or not is the attachment malicious. So let's do the no part. So if the attachment is not malicious, origin faked or the email. I mean, if the attachment is not malicious, origin faked, or and the email is expected for the recipient's roles. Uh, so we would have to write a short. I would say write a short alert comment explaining why you are confident that the email is safe and expected. Simple, plain, to the point. I think it's pretty obvious, right? And after that, you would close as false positive. If you think otherwise, if so, you would have to uh, try and gather. Um, it seems like you would have to gather triage evidence, like recipient lists. I think that sounds like more of a good answer than all the other ones. I don't know. Investigate events of all the email recipients to the corporate servers and VPN. Run an alert. That would be the second stage, I would say. That would be the second stage. So I'll put that right here. Yeah. But the first one, uh, so the first one would be, I think you would have to notify all employees. Well, actually, no, I'm sorry, not employees. You would have to gather triage evidence because if you try to investigate login events, well, I don't know. This one does sound. This one could be the next contender. I don't think this is contender at all, but in process of elimination. So the investigate login events of all the email recipients to the corporate servers and VPN. Corporate servers? You said? Yeah, corporate servers. Um, did we already gather evidence? Uh, let's see. I'm gonna take the benefit of the doubt and go with this one. I think it's this one. I think it's this one right here. Gather triage evidence, but let's see. I think it could be. I think it could be. I think it could be this one, but let's see if we if we are right with this one. Let's see. No, see? Yeah. All you have to do is gather triage evidence. Yeah, I knew it. I literally knew it. So so yeah. So yeah, that's we got the first one down. So okay, now we're on to the PowerShell analysis. So the PowerShell analysis, we have to go up here. Start. I think we have to assign the alert first. So I think we have to do this first. Assign the alert to me. Get context of the affected machine using asset inventory. Yep. And then save the And then hmm, and maybe it's this one right here. Yep, use threat intel to analyze the URL and the download executable. Okay. After that, after that, we would after that we would have to. I think we have to assign the alert to a system owner. Actually, no. No, 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 no. Um, Write an alert report for L2, so that would go all the way down here. No doubt about it. If you find something malicious, yeah, yeah. So So write an alert report for L2. That would go down here for sure. Uh, write write a brief comment explaining your verdict. Reach SOC engineers to tune the detection rule. Yeah, if it's a no, then we always have to write a brief comment. So, oh, looks like some. Okay. All right. And then is the file malicious downloaded? I don't know. Should we contact the user or no? No, you don't have to. No. Build a process tree to find out if the parish process is an account is used to start PowerShell. I think that might be it. Yeah. Build the process tree to find out if the parent process and account used to start PowerShell. Is the file malicious? Downloaded from untrusted resources? Yeah, and then once we do that, I think it would be safe to say that we have to save it. Yeah, save the results. Yeah, yeah, save the results. Yeah. So, once again, write an alert comment explaining your verdict to reach out to SOC engineers to tune your rule. That's if it's a false positive. Close as FP. Write an alert explaining your verdict and attach the evidence to L2 review. Explain. Escalate to L2. So this is pretty nice here. Let me hold on. Let me pause. So this is network analysis, and then we collect evidence, attack time range. Oh, we have to assign the alert to yourself first, obviously. No doubt about it. Write the alert comment. So I got these three up. So, and then I think we would have to list the ports scanned by the IP. Um, if the IP is malicious, then we have to collect evidence, pretty much. Yeah, collect all the evidence and write a alert report, and then scan for open ports on the source IP. Yeah, this ain't got nothing to do with this one ain't got nothing to do with network analysis. So I'm gonna see. Wait, okay, that's not the right answer. Is this? Wait, is this really the right answer? Okay, I would say. Um, Assign the alert to yourself. Get the IP's context from the network map and asset inventory. List sports scanned by the IP. List ports scanned by the IP to find out which services could be running on the ports. Scan for open ports. Find out which services can be running on the ports. Actually, no. Could it be this one? Oh, it is this one. Okay. So if the source is a corporate, Nessus, Zabbis, etc., etc., verify the scanning pattern is expected. So we completed the lab. Oh, wait. Okay. I thought I lost it for a sec. I thought I lost it for a sec. Okay. All right. So nice work on building the workbooks. Remember to use the existing lookups like asset inventory or network map to better understand the alerts, and push your team to implement and maintain workbooks to streamline and simplify SOC operations. Hope you enjoyed the room. And that brings us to the end of this video. Um, Sorry it's so short, but I had an original recording for this, and it unfortunately got deleted. I don't know how to restore it, but yeah, that is the end of the lab, and I'll see you on the next one.